hello. Welcome to another edition of the Wrestling Retrospective podcast. I'm your host, Ernest EJ Christian. Recordings on a Wednesday night, August 20th, 2025. Typically, we would do the Pulse Cut Anywhere podcast tonight, but we decided to take a little break from that for this week, and we got a bunch of watch alongs I want to get to, especially a lot of anniversary ones to get out of the way, and we're gonna do, of course, do our Sunday main event watch along. Excuse me, that's the wrong background. My bad. And of course, joining us as always, Rob the Genius, 1/3 Wrestling Podcast, also the host of the Rob the Genius Podcast. Rob, what's going on, man?
Yeah, not much, man. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little high right now. I'm a little high, slightly high.
High as in happy, or high as in
high as in edibles, and I only take that stuff when I'm actually like off the next day of work, because those things we sneak. And the thing is, they sneak upon you, brother. They sneak upon you. You don't know when it's gonna hit. You know what I mean? So, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do the July 1990 edition of the Sunday's main event. But before we get there, this is not a regular False Count episode. Obviously, it's a retro episode, but I can't be remiss. Real quick, we're gonna spend about 5 minutes real quick on this topic. We discussed this on the False Count pod last week about we did. I don't know if we did talk about it or not, but ESPN and WWE are now in business with each other. They are all the PLEs will be on ESPN moving forward from 2026 on, starting next year. Except that today, hours ago, it was announced that they moved up the start of that relationship to next month. So basically, what we're saying is that this upcoming PLE in Paris, Clash in Paris, will be the last PLE on Peacock, starting July. I think September 20th. The PLE they're doing, I don't know if it's a PLE, but the event they're doing, I'm trying to find what name, it's called WrestlePalooza, will be broadcasted there on ESPN. I think September 20th. And basically they are starting that with a bang. Rob, your thoughts on this breaking news? They're moving up the dates now. They're ready. From what I see, is that ESPN wants content now, because the new platform is being released to the world next month. So, your thoughts on all this?
Yeah. So now this is according to Brian Alvarez. Basically, what happened here is they ran out of dates on Peacock.
What do you mean by that?
PLE dates. They were supposed to do. Peacock was supposed to carry, I guess, a certain number of PLEs for them, every year.
Mm-hmm.
And this year they used up because SummerSlam was 2 nights, and because they also did Evolution, they used up all their dates. This is according to Alvarez.
So they're going to use a certain number of dates a year.
Yeah, and no, I did not know. I thought it was just, hey, whatever we got is going to be on Peacock, right? So according to him,
mm-hmm.
They had a certain number of dates as far as PLEs that Peacock was going to carry, and they used, because they had SummerSlam was 2 nights. The second night counts as a date, and then they did Evolution, and that also counts as a date.
Mm-hmm.
Because of that, they ran out of their dates early, because otherwise, the last Peacock event this year is Clash in Paris, and originally they were supposed to just have Crown Jewel and then Survivor Series, and they were supposed to be the last 2, right?
Of the year, right?
Yeah. So now again, SummerSlam was second night, and then Evolution was the extra show. Mm-hmm. So that took up what would have been the dates for Crown Jewel and Survivor Series, and so they needed, they needed some place to stream those events. And like I said, the ESPN thing is starting. Is it starting next month?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, and as we all know, with streaming services, they, the ones that are startup streaming services need everything. They need, look, I mean, they would stream us doing this show if they had an hour and they were desperate enough. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
we're living in the era of content, bro.
Yeah, and
in all forms, whether it's digital or podcasts, people want content.
And again, startup streamers, just like, I mean, back in the day when ESPN started up as a cable channel, they used to broadcast all types of crazy events.
Hmm.
I mean, and I mean they would do wrestling, but they would do. I mean, they would do anything that could be considered a sport back when ESPN first
Even
started.
poker, even poker.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, like back in the early '70s, it was just. I mean, if you had like a horseshoe contest, and if they had a half hour, because they didn't have anything, right?
Right, right, right.
So this ESPN thing, it's just starting now. You're going to say, well, it's ESPN, don't they have a bunch of stuff? Um, no, probably not, because I mean, you have to sign contracts and make deals with people, right, to carry their events. So they're in the process of, signing contracts with whatever, with whoever. So
Let me
they,
ask. Let me ask you this quick.
yeah,
Sorry to cut you off. Had the ESPN thing not existed, let's say that was never a topic of that never happened. Let's say ESPN was never in the business of WWE, and they ran out of dates, and that was their contract. Would they have to pay for more dates to broadcast on Peacock outside of the contract? How would
um,
that have worked?
I'm not. Good question. I mean, I'm sure that they probably would have given them a freebie or something because, um, I mean, that's happened before with like sports, where for some reason or another they have to, or maybe sometimes if the money didn't turn out right, or if the or whatever, in the past, sports leagues have given a quote unquote free game to a network or whatever.
Right.
So it might have been that, or I mean, that's probably what it would have been. They probably would have just had to. They would have said, okay, we'll run these for you, but um, we're not paying any more money. Right? It might have been that, or yeah, it probably would have been something like that, or they might have had just don't put on their YouTube channel and
That's a good
it,
point.
eating it.
They still made money though on ads on YouTube.
Yeah,
They made money.
yeah. It just probably wouldn't have been well because live stuff is more of it. It's better like the money with live the streamers. The money with streamers is for live. It's for live stuff, right?
Right.
So them running it on their YouTube channel probably somewhere on some, I'm sure they got some spreadsheet or something where they can show you where running one of their main roster PLEs on their YouTube channel would have been a loss. So they didn't want to do that. If they could have found somebody to give them some money to run the PLE, they would much rather do that than throw it up
And
on their
and
YouTube
and,
channel.
and given how they've been making money that hand over fist the last couple of years, someone would have paid up for even some piece of the pie.
Yeah.
You
Oh yeah.
know, easy guaranteed eyeballs there. From WWE. But yeah, this is look, content's king. What you're seeing here is not just about wrestling and all that. It's about payment content, and you're seeing the the ever changing media industry now go through another phase now, where people buying up these properties, and ESPN is using all their brands they necessary to sell off to different different companies and distributors and stuff, and making money and create new revenue stream elsewhere. NXT has its own deal somewhere else as Raw, so SmackDown, now the PLEs, and now my question, real quick for you, Rob, before we get to the watch along, is what's next for Peacock? What's next for the network? What's next for the archives? Because a fan like me, if I wasn't watching the current product, I still have the network / Peacock because I watch the classics. I watch all the stuff in the network religiously.
Right.
So it does feel like, okay, Peacock's deal with WWE does expire next year. It feels like that's coming to an end very soon. And I've heard a rumor that ESPN is bidding for not only just now the PLEs, but now they're going to make a bid for the library as well too.
And I could see that happening. Well,
Yeah,
because as we know that they've been throwing a ton of stuff up on. They've created some new YouTube channels in the past year, like the WWE Vault, and
yeah.
then they created an NXT YouTube channel, and
WCW, you can tell them also too. WCW
yeah, they
also has
created
one,
a WCW YouTube channel, and they've been just throwing stuff up on there.
which is great.
And probably, I mean, that's probably been just kind of a hedge if in the event that they couldn't get somebody to pay them to run the library, um, because I mean, like the back catalog, there's kind of this. Um, it'd be one of those things. It'd be an economist would show you some graph or something where at some point, like,
Right.
the value of the catalog decreases over time because basically, look, the WCW stuff is for like people our age, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the 20-year-old who has a Peacock subscription probably isn't looking at much of that,
Yeah.
or they're not.
Unless they're a hardcore fan and want to do history lessons.
Yeah, right. And or they're not even looking at the 80s, Hogan stuff. They're probably not looking at that either, right? So the back catalog is for people like us. They're probably not selling a lot of subscriptions for people who want for the back catalog, right? So to that end, and the back catalog again, it loses value as the years go on because we get older and we start passing away, unfortunately, right? And
Mm-hmm.
there'll just be fewer people to watch that stuff. So in the short run, at least, they're doing, they're crunching their numbers and all that, and so that there comes a point at which it would they would make more money off of YouTube views for the back catalog than they would to try and put it on a streamer and get people to subscribe. Now, however, if you're ESPN and you've already bought the PLEs, then adding the catalog to it, you know, you could, I mean, because look, I mean, I doubt they're going to pay some huge amount of money for the catalog if they get it, right? But you could, I mean, adding on the catalog for a smaller price will, in at least in the short run, will maybe get them a few more subscriptions
Right. And then you hope
and
they stay
whatnot.
with other things you add as you. That catalog can be very enticing or tempting. I say right now, if the catalog goes ESPN, I probably will pump. I probably pump $30. I probably would.
Yeah, and so like for ESPN is valuable because it's an addition to, because it's the back catalog for what they're showing now, right? I don't it probably doesn't have much value for somebody else to just have as a standalone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it probably will end up on ESPN. And then now as far as Peacock, yeah, I mean now, when you get into kind of the deep weeds of the rumor mill, um, there are people who think that they might be trying to get TNA on Peacock
Mm.
or the AAA stuff, because they own AAA now.
And everybody wants content. Everyone
Yeah.
wants content.
So and if you're Peacock, look, if you get TNA and AAA, I mean, you could get both of those for less for a lower price than you're paying WWE.
Yeah.
Um, so that very well might be something they want to do, right? Because in the TNA back catalog is really good because I have TNA Plus,
Mm-hmm.
and so and they have the whole back catalog there. So if you're if you're interested in watching like the stuff when TNA was really hot, when AJ and Samoa Joe and all of them were there, that stuff was all there, right? So you know Peacock very well might be interested in buying that. And again, you'd buy it at a lower number. You wouldn't have to give TNA $1 billion like the way they gave
Yep.
WWE. You could give TNA maybe a third of that, right? And get all of that and run their current events. Um, so that could possibly happen. Uh,
I also heard a rumor too, also that and Duke actually mentioned this on the podcast we recorded yesterday that you came on later on, that there's a possibility that Paramount, who just bought up UFC, may also go into business with WWE because I think they're buying out Warner Brothers, which then means that, and if they bring in WWE, for example, Warner Brothers, which is owned by, which AEW is currently on right now, TV wise, he's saying that AEW's days could be numbered. Because if they decide to pick WWE or AEW in the future, and by the way, Warner Brothers already has NXT. So there's already
yeah,
foot in the door ready for that. So he was saying that AEW's future with Warner Brothers and Paramount could be short lived.
that's possible for sure. Now, AEW is already they started streaming their pay-per-views on Prime,
Mm-hmm.
so I mean, they could. I mean, they could just.
Wait, you can watch it on Prime now without pay per view?
Oh, you got to order it. I mean,
Oh God, fucking.
but I mean, but you own it though when you order it. It's not it's not like a one. It's not like a one shot. Where you pay the $50 and then you get to watch it once, right?
Hmm.
So,
Makes
because
sense.
I've
Okay.
ordered a couple of their pay-per-views on Prime and watching there, and you can watch them as many times you want.
I do wonder now with now UFC is now going to the non pay per view model starting next year. WWE's been doing that for a while now. You just get a subscription to their material and then you're good to go. You pay for one stop shop. I do wonder if AEW will do the same under under one of these umbrellas they're at currently. I am curious about that. But like I said, this is going to be an evergreen topic. We'll talk about the podcast throughout the next months and even the next couple of years. Because the landscape is changing again. So something to talk about. But what we're here tonight for is for the July. Let me see. July was it 18th or 28th? Let me see. Yeah, actually, it aired July 28th, but it happened on July 16th. Sun's main event, which took place in Omaha, Nebraska, at the Omaha Civic Auditorium. The attendance, Rob, was 10,303. Always ask every time I do these podcasts, 1990, the summer 1990, rather. What the hell are you doing?
Okay, so I was 16 years old, and
Jeez, I was 10.
so I was about to start my senior year of high school. At that point, I hadn't become a full-on casual fan yet, but I was kind of trending in that direction. Um,
I'll say
and
this. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah,
But
and a year later, I would be a full-on casual fan, but at this point, I was still a full-time fan. But
the wear and
yeah,
tear is there already. The wear and tear
yeah,
is already there at that
because
point. Yes.
yeah, because well, look, this was a time where a lot of people were checking out. Okay,
Yeah.
1990 was kind of a turning point year where, yeah, I mean, a lot of people, regardless of what company they preferred,
They
a lot
they,
of
they, they call that stagnation.
yeah, and then the AWA I think went under in 1990. So at that point we were down to two companies, and yeah, things were just starting to get stagnant, and things were just starting to lose steam, and because some
By
of
the way,
the yeah. Okay.
yeah. By the way, this event aired on NBC and drew a 7.2 rating. So this event also saw the debut of the Texas Tornado, Curry Von Erich. We're going to cover 4 matches here on the show. Of course, the main event will be the Ultimate Warrior versus Rick Rude for the World WWE Championship. We have the tag team championships online between Demolition versus Smash and Crush. No Axe. Well, the Axe will be in the corner against the Rockers of Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. We'll have the IC title on the line as well too. Mr. Perfect versus Bob. No, Mr. Perfect with Bobby Heenan's corner versus Tito Santana, and then as mentioned earlier, the debut of the Texas Tornado against Buddy Rose. Now, very rare for the record, someone who's watched the main event that you have all three of their title matches on the line on the same show. That's very rare to see that.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's no timestamp needed because it's an entire episode. It is the July 28th edition of the Sunday Main Event from 1990. If you need to pause to set up, feel free to do that. Otherwise, it is also season 5, episode 6. So, Rob, you ready to go? Let's do it in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And there you have Lord Alfred Hayes. I was never a big fan of his, actually, Rob. No, not really. I don't know why. I was fun corny.
I like him fine. I mean,
The Wild Kingdom is the theme of this main event, of course. This is when they started doing a lot of themes. I know they did that a little bit in the mid '80s, the early seasons of main event. Kind of went away from that for a couple of years, and I went back to it this season. And this is by the way, this is significant here too because this will be Jesse Ventura's last appearance in the WWE.
that's what I was actually. This is the last time he appeared because
He leaves about weeks later.
yeah.
Is that a green screen?
I think so. It looks like it. Yeah, because that looks. Yeah, because the crowd is really blurry.
The GOAT, Jesse Ventura, the GOAT. Yeah, Vince's hair looks good, man. Looking like Pat Riley there for a second.
Yeah.
I will say, and it's not even a knock on Jesse, but I will say, if people start saying at this point they got a little tired of Jesse, although I'll judge you anyway, I can see why. Because the shtick started to get a little much at this point,
Well,
I
and
guess.
I think for me that always happens with commentators who do some type of shtick. There comes a point where it gets tired. And no matter
Yeah.
who it is, which I think it happened with Pat McAfee. Um,
Yeah, I think McAfee's peak is his peak of his powers is passed him by. You'll see more complaints about him now. So we are right now in the. Go ahead. What are you gonna say?
well, because what happens with those guys, like the shtick is nice when like they start out not doing it like the whole time, right? And then but as they go on, it becomes their whole act, and they just lean on it all the time, and it doesn't it feels forced and
Yeah.
overbearing.
So you got Rick Rude a haircut
Yeah,
because with Bobby Heenan. Now this so Rick Rude is it's funny. They're gonna meet again in SummerSlam in a month.
yeah.
Um that'll be a cage match. But so right now we're in the middle of the Warriors, the title reign. It's clear that things aren't going the way Vince wants it to go because the fact that you're going back to the Rude well so soon is pretty I would say desperate, if you will.
Well, I guess for me, like the sign for me was that Warriors are world champion, but they were still just giving so much time and space to Hogan,
You know,
right?
Hogan did go away though for a while though. He had the kayfabe earthquake sit on my chest moment. My way, one of someone's here on the show not mentioned in the intro was that the return of Hulk Hogan here tonight because he went away in April after getting attacked by earthquake and was gone. And remember the whole like teasing the retirement thing where like he sending letters get well letters to Hulk.
Yeah,
And then
and
so
but
this would
now,
be his appearance on TV since then on the show.
right? But the fact that I'm just talking about the fact that immediately after WrestleMania they started calling him the Immortal Hulk Hogan,
Yeah.
and then again they did the big angle where he got taken out. Whereas instead of him just disappearing for a while, right, and then coming back later, right? Because
Look at those pants.
yeah, because
God.
like with when Savage wanted at WrestleMania 4,
Mm-hmm.
he just disappeared for a while, and then he
Yep.
came back later,
I
right?
think Vince knew the risk because he knew War was over, but he also knew that the locker room didn't like him. And I think what it is too also, he took a chance here because Warrior was that over, but I think he knew that because of his lack of commitment to the role, not to the role, not to the role of Warrior, but also like the ambassador, the main guy, because his personality really was not one of someone that should be the number one guy of the company. I
Right.
think that's probably why he kept the Hogan. Yeah, you can lose the title, but you know what? Don't go too far away because we might need you. We might need you because if this fails early, we're going back to you for the championship. With the championship,
Yeah,
and
and I guess the
which
thing
indeed did
is,
happen.
even like 16-year-old me was saw right through it,
Yeah,
right? And that's the thing. It was really transparent that they were not going in all the way with him. Whereas, like again, I mean, when Savage won the title after WrestleMania 4, they didn't. They on TV it looked like he was Hogan's equal.
yeah.
It didn't. It did. It, and again, Hogan went away for a while, and then he came back after a few months, and I think and there was no sense that they were there was no sense that they were keeping Hogan around as a failsafe when Savage was champ. Whereas with here, it was real obvious.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. The fact they go back to Rude, means that okay, we're gonna go back to something that's safe. Going to
Yeah,
Rude for Warrior was safe because these guys worked very well together. Honestly, this is the best feud in his entire WWE career, in my opinion. Is Rude.
I would say as far as like as far as like the matches, at least the ring work, yes.
Yeah. I mean, you can go Savage as well too, obviously, but I think Rude is what really made him okay. This guy could be the guy because that feud of Rude at '89, the first set of the feud when they went to Mania 5 and whatnot into SummerSlam the same year. Well, that I think that's what told Vince, hey, okay, we can probably put the rocket with this guy.
Yeah.
It was that feud,
But yeah, Warrior is unreliable. I mean, I'm a reliable
Yeah,
personality. I'm reliable as a professional.
yeah,
And
which became very obvious. Yeah,
yeah, and I don't know if you listened to that thing I sent you, the cornet thing where
I
he
watched.
compared,
I just a little bit of it. Yeah,
when he compared, somebody because somebody asked him if if Warrior and Sting had been in the opposite companies, how would it went?
well, you know what it went. I explained this to you on the podcast a couple episodes ago on the on False Count, I believe, that if Sting were in Warrior's role and everything was booked the same way, Hulkamania ends a lot earlier because Sting is very dependable.
Yeah. Whereas, I mean, in Cornet said Warrior wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes in the NWA locker room.
No, he'd be gone out of the company probably within years, a few years. Look at the Warrior overacting. Good Lord,
Yeah.
way out there. And by the way, this is actually one of the last times you can see Bobby Heenan on the side because Bobby Heenan by next year is in commentary full time.
Yeah. And because at this point, I mean, he had taken like years, just taking a lot of really wicked bumps.
Oh God, yeah, was a lot from the Warrior too. Really bad
Yeah.
ones. I don't think Rudy. Rudy, you want to do that, man? You want to get count out? You won't win the title. He's commenting like he's commenting to Bobby like, oh, I didn't know that, bro. How do you not know that a count out means you don't doesn't change hands?
Yeah.
That's badly booked. Badly booked. Warrior want to say wore the same trunks at WrestleMania 6. Maybe Hogan. Same look. Yeah, I don't think I saw this match actually in live. I don't think. I think around this time I was 10 years old. I was still watching the product, absolutely. But this is where even at 10 even at 10 I was starting to, like I said, stagnate. It was stagnation for me. Like I was still watching, but I wasn't as excited about the product. I was still upset Hogan lost the title. Now he's gone for a few months. The Earthquake feud had me invested to where I cried thinking he was going to retire. You know what I mean? So I was feeling some kind of way at 10 years old.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Yeah, because I bought that shit. I bought it hook, line, and sinker into that Earthquake thing. In hindsight, John Tenna's a good dude. Of course, John Tenna's Earthquake.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys have great chemistry, man. This is one of their better matches.
Oh yeah, I mean, like they worked great together.
I rank from top 3 warrior workers. I go Savage 1, Hogan. No, I go Savage 1, Rude 2, Hogan 3. I'll go Hogan 3 only because of the fact that it was only one match. But Rude and Warrior met quite a few times.
So honestly, I put Rude first.
Really? At a Savage?
Well, because I mean, they had the most matches against each other, and
I see the argument. I see the argument, definitely.
honestly, and see, I didn't like that Savage match at WrestleMania as much as a lot of people.
Oh,
did.
wait a second. Stop it. Really?
Because I thought it was overkill. With he gave him like 8 elbows and he kicked out. Like,
5.
that was that was the birth of all this, you know, kicking out of everything that you see now.
But they're fighting for the careers, bro.
Okay. You didn't need to give him 8. He gave him like
5.
8 flying
5.
elbows.
5.
Like,
And then
be
Warrior gave him
quiet.
5. Warrior gave him like what 5
And
was it elbow
right, and then
shoulder.
it's just that was too much. And for me, even back then, I was like, okay, this is too much. No.
Bobby says ring the bell. Ring the bell. Such an instigator. No, I definitely see the argument for Rude number 1. This on variance alone. And I also argue that he also wrestled Warrior when he's at his worst as a worker. Warrior did get better, actually. For all the shit we give Warrior, he did get better as a worker. Like, some of his best work is actually this run in the 91, 92. So there's some good work there, really, when he's with the right guy. And Rude was still working with him at the time where he was, way more green in 89. So there's a rumor that Rude and Bobby did not get along. Actually, but you would never have known that based on the way they performed here, manager the wrestler.
Well, I mean, back then, I mean,
Let me look that up. Actually,
it was back then. Guys just wanted to make money, man. And like you didn't, and the dirt sheet presence wasn't as prevalent. You didn't have websites and people fanning flames all the time, right? So yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Like, two guys didn't like each other to work together a lot back then. I mean,
so I just found on Google. So on screen, Rick Rude and Bobby Heenan were portrayed as a cohesive unit, with Heenan serving as Rude's cunning and manipulative manager in WWF. The on-screen relationship was a classic heel partnership, with Heenan's devious plans often helping Rude win matches and interfering in a crowd. In real life, while they worked together to create a successful on-screen act, there were some tensions. A shoot interview with Heenan suggests that Rude was difficult to manage and that he was a loner who didn't want a manager. This is common in pro wrestling, where the on-screen dynamic also doesn't always reflect the personal relationships between performers. Yes, I've heard that before.
Well, not totally surprised. Well, because they didn't have, because some managers had a really long relationship with the people they worked with. Like Paul Ellering worked with Hawk and Animal forever, right? And
Yeah,
he was like their real life manager to a degree. I mean, like he didn't negotiate their contracts, but as far as like taking care of them on the road and everything, like he really did that. And and Cornette did some of that for the Midnight Express. Making sure they got paid right and everything. But Heenan and Rude, I don't think that they'd ever been together before, so they were just coworkers. And
speaking of bumps here, Bobby Heenan. Speaking of bumps,
yeah,
there you go.
And there'd been some stories about Rude just being like a really intense guy. And,
really, I know that.
Yeah, somebody that was really easy to piss off. Because I think he and Warrior got. I mean, I think I remember seeing somewhere he and Warrior got into like a.
Yeah, I've seen heard stories about Rude Warrior getting into it.
And I think because Rude was Rude was a bouncer.
Scary dude.
Because like a whole group of those guys worked bars together, like in Minnesota, before they became wrestlers. Rude, Kurt Hennig, Nikita Koloff, Hawk and Animal. Like they all worked they were all from Minnesota, and they were all like bouncers at like the same bars, and so they all kind of got discovered, around the same time. So Rude was a legit guy who you did not want to mess with.
Yeah,
and Warrior was a bodybuilder, so
Yeah, while on screen their feud was one of the most memorable of the era, the animosity between Rude and Warrior reportedly extended backstage as well. Numerous accounts from other wrestlers, including Ric Flair and Barry Darsow, which is who demonstrates Smash, have circled over the years about a backstage fight between the two. According to these accounts, the incident occurred after Warrior made a comment about Rude's wrestling ability. Rude, known for his being a very tough and legitimate fighter, allegedly confronted Warrior and got the better of him in real life altercation. The story goes that Vince McMahon was furious and almost fired Rude over the incident. While there are different accounts of exact details and location of the fight, some say it was in Toronto, others in Savannah, Georgia. The general consensus from all those in the wrestling industry is at the time is that there were real heat between the two men and it did boil over into a physical confrontation outside the ring. Oh, here's the video, the Warrior the Hogan trip video.
And see, I remember this but for me,
Smash.
I think I talked about this before. How for me, this was just a kind of a rerun of the King Kong Bundy feud.
Very much so. Yep. 4 years earlier.
Yeah. So the way you felt about this is how I felt about the King Kong Bundy feud.
Mm. But they did more. Well, I guess they did the same like tribute video too, also in '86 as well. Actually,
they didn't. Well, they didn't have all this footage, because it was 1986.
Right, of course.
But they played it kind of the same way, like Hogan's ribs were hurt, and he was wearing tape, and so this is like a funeral video, man.
That's what I'm saying. It is. And back in 1990, we fell hook, line, and sinker for this crap, bro.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The innocence of being in my case 10 years old and still being able to watch wrestling for how you watch wrestling. Like I hate Earthquake, dude. Like I hate that motherfucker. I really did. Again, in hindsight, John Ten's one of the greatest human beings I've ever heard. I've heard he's nothing but a great guy in real life when he was alive, of course.
But I mean, they had to do this much because
because
if the Bundy feud was only 4 years prior, so if you've been watching the whole time, they had to escalate things.
You got Warrior in the promo, so make sure you get Warrior some rub. Well, wait, Hogan and Tugboat, worst nickname ever for a wrestler, probably.
Yeah.
This got me. The kid here, look at the young kid.
Oh, because oh man, they milked this good, man.
My God, all of this was subscriptions. So Hogan and Earthquake will meet at SummerSlam this, month after this. Hogan actually lost weight for that match too. Now I'm wondering if that's because of the movie. That's because also of the upcoming steroid scandal.
Oh, yeah, because
could be both. In the locker room, funeral. And there's Hogan. This is return.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hogan can't go away because the Warrior sucks.
Well, pretty much.
Even the science back then was so simple. Hogan was still bigger than life at this time, and I know there was some wear and tear with Hulkamania, man, but it was still pretty.
Yeah. I think they were. At this point, there were people who were happy to see him lose the title because I think some people were kind kind of, what kind of fatigue with him being, champion all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But but that doesn't mean they were tired of him, right?
Right.
And it didn't take them long to figure out that he's much better than the Warrior. Okay, you know,
Yep.
in all aspects of the job, he was much better than the Ultimate Warrior.
Jesse is on commentary by himself right now, actually,
Yeah.
because Vincent's up in the ring. Talking about he made a big mistake. Thank you, Hulkamaniacs, for signing for the mailbag. Get more subscriptions. Kids, this is pre-email. Coroner letter for you that subscriptions.
But look, I mean, that's what you did back in the day. You wrote
Yeah.
letters to the magazine. You wrote letters to magazines. You wrote letters to people.
No, you're not. Because I sent one of those letters, I didn't get shit back. Someone he's gonna answer you one of those letters. You would not. You're come on, dude. You're not doing that. God, they bullshit you back then too, and you can get away with it. Did you take that as kayfabe also too? The whole Earthwork thing, but because by then you
Oh, I mean, I was 16, so I knew that. I knew. Yeah.
Okay. You have. You've been paroled before King Kong Bundy. My way, congrats on the order for Trinity or Naomi.
Oh, yeah.
I really hope she loses her spot though. I really hope she goes away and then she can get her spot back, or at least get back to prominence, because she was having a fantastic run as a heel.
And I hope because look, for my money, she was the best woman performer in WWE this year.
Oh yeah,
When you combine everything, um,
Tugboat in his corner. Hold on. So Tugboat was supposed to be in his corner, and then kayfabe he gets hurt. Oh, there's Jimmy Hart. There's Jimmy Hart. There's Earthquake. Uh-oh.
and Dino Bravo.
Look at Earthquake. Dino Bravo.
Oh, because no, Dino Bravo, man, um, he got killed like in a mafia hit.
He sure did. Cigarette, illegal
Yeah.
cigarettes, I think it was. This is the weakest I've ever seen Hogan, actually. And there's Tugboat.
Yeah.
By the way, why the hell they call him Tugboat? That's one of the worst character names ever, bro. Seriously. Tugboat?
I mean, Vince with his wacky gimmicks.
Why wasn't Tugboat, though? So he was supposed to be in Hogan's corner for SummerSlam, but then ended up being Big Boss Man. Did something happen I know on TV, Earthquake also squashed his ass and he got hurt. But I wonder what happened to Tugboat and SummerSlam. You know that story?
No,
I
let's
should
see
look, I
what
should look up right
find
now.
out.
Why wasn't Tugboat in Hogan's corner at SummerSlam? All right. Okay, so the storyline was that he got hurt. Right. Okay. They don't explain why in real life though. There's Mr. Kuko Beware.
And see another thing. At this point, I was like done with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. What you mean? What Tugboat stuff or the Kuko Beware
This
stuff?
this what they're doing right now with
Beware.
yeah the wacky
Oh yeah.
skits and all that stuff.
What was the real reason? Was not in Hogan's corner at SummerSlam. Let me see what it says here. I don't want the storyline. I want the real life. There's no reason. There's no real reason why. Apparently, it's just they made a change. I don't know. Because anybody, I guess the idea was that anybody that's in Hogan's spot or near Hogan is probably going to be someone that could be in line for a big push. And maybe they pulled back on Tugboat's push and went with Bossman. Bossman at this point had become a babyface. He was actually pretty over. He also lost a lot of weight. So maybe Vince was looking at, okay, maybe Bossman could be the next guy in line. Since Warrior, sucks, and we're probably going to end up taking the belt with him within the next year. And Vince always looked at broader down the road guys he can use and for future pushes. And maybe Bossman was a guy he was eyeballing, and that's probably why he made the change. He saw probably more potential with Bossman and gave him that rub with Hogan. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's probably just my thinking. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. All right, so Demolition here. Defending tag champions here. They won the belts back at WrestleMania 6 in April. Yeah. For that match, they were baby faces. By this point here, they are heels. They are also going the 3-man route. Axe and Smash is now crushed and Smash. Axe in real life has another health issues at this point. So that's why they went with a 3-man angle. But to be honest with you, this is really the beginning of Demolition, because Legion Doom is the company next month. And then once they're there, Demolition has no use.
Well, look,
and of course you're smiling about that too. Look at that.
Look, you don't need the PT Cruiser once the whatever it is. I forgot what it is. But you don't need the Chrysler 300 when the Rolls Royce pulls up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you don't need Wish.com when you have the real thing now.
Yeah.
There's Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty.
And I swear, I will say to this day, anybody who called Shawn Michaels becoming what he became,
nobody saw that coming.
Nobody.
In fact, even when he went solo, no one saw that coming still.
Right. Because at this point, he and Marty, other than the hair color, were pretty indistinguishable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Marty Jannetty is having some health issues too, apparently. He has ankle leg problems, oral surgery, apparently. He has personal issues he's been dealing with. Yeah. He's had an interesting story too, Marty Jannetty.
Oh man,
it's not a good one for the record. It's not a positive.
No, that guy, yeah, I mean,
the Rockers were technically tag champions for like one day.
Oh yeah, and Vince just put the kibosh on it.
because of the ring, the buckles apparently had broken or busted, which is crazy because Hart Foundation won the tag titles that August at Demolition, and then just as quickly they're going to pull it off on them immediately.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
That's some really hot shot booking there by Vince.
Yeah.
And then months later, it's the Nasty Boys that win the tag titles. Make that make sense.
Well, at that point, they just needed somebody to hold the belts for a few months and lose them to Hawk and Animal.
Right. And plus, Brett's going solo at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody that said they had Sean going become this guy is out of your damn mind. Mr. WrestleMania, right there in yellow.
Yeah.
With the blonde.
Because I remember when they split the Rockers up, I was at that point I was kind of like, why? Like, why are we doing this? I mean, like, what's the point? Like, you really gotta make these guys singles wrestlers?
And the thing is, too, also, like, did Vince really see something in Sean? Like, at that point, like, personality-wise, that could have worked, I guess? I don't know.
I mean, he had to because, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think he had to have, he must have seen something, and you gotta, you know what?
Well, and not just in ring, I'm talking about, like, personality-wise, as a character.
I mean, he must have because
that character really, that HBK character really was at its peak in terms of the character work in 92, 93, 94. He went all in that shit. The glasses and the
I mean, I think either he saw something or he either saw greatness in Sean or he saw that Marty was just a train wreck and wanted to get Sean away from him, or maybe both. He saw something with Sean that nobody else did.
I wonder if they're still friends at all, Jannetty and Sean.
I don't know. I mean,
looking right now, actually.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're beefing with each other, but I mean, if I'm Sean, I wouldn't be hanging out with Marty.
Of course not. Yeah,
because Marty is trouble, man.
Yeah. So based on the information given here, the relationship between Sean and Marty is complex. While they are close and a successful team for many years, their bond has been strained over time. According to Shawn Michaels, he no longer has a contact number for Marty Jannetty. He's expressed that this is heartbreaking and that while it's not his place to tell Jannetty how to live, he can only care for him when it's not going well. Marty Jannetty has stated that they talk or text every once in a great while, and while he is busy, Michaels is also very busy running NXT. He's also spoken about their history, including a time where Michaels was arrogant, but later became a good little humble kid after he got religious. Overall, it seems that while there is a deep history and level of care between them, they're no longer in regular contact. And that's because one guy is cleaning up his act and doing his thing, and the other one is having his own personal demons.
Yeah.
So it seems like, anyway. By the way, I don't know if you know this, but Demolition, I think Access Smash have their own podcast now.
They do?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Now you do. Now you do.
No.
And I think Robert Genius should subscribe to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go in the comment section and call them bootleg Hawk and Animal.
Oh my God, be nice.
No,
look, they're all we had, man.
I'm
For
just
me, anyway,
kidding. No, I was
as someone that didn't watch WCW regularly as a kid, them listening wasn't for me. And by the way, I never compared the two, like, because both are two different tag teams anyway, in look and in style. Like War Warriors were like high flyers too. Demolition were a ground tag team. That's all they were. Come on, Rob. Who's your favorite member of Demolition? Crush?
Favorite member of Demolition?
Favorite member?
I mean, if I had to pick one, it'd probably be Smash because, I mean, he was Crusher Khrushchev in
That's true.
NWA.
Yeah, Crush is actually going to be not Atom Bomb, was it? Crush. Well, Crush, yeah. Was there another character besides that also?
I
Later
don't
on?
think so.
He since passed away, I think. He passed away in like 2000, I think. Maybe earlier. I think. Yes, that when did Crush pass away? Just can't type here. Like, what's going on? Yeah, Brian Adams. He passed away in 2007.
Oh man.
Yeah. They don't say how though. This industry, who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, it's saying it's death was a combined drug intoxication, also known as polydrug overdose. According to the report from the Hillsborough County Medical Examiner's Office, he had a lethal mixture of prescribed medications in his system, including a strong painkiller, muscle relaxants, and sedatives. The combination of these drugs slowed his respiratory system, which ultimately led to his death. Yikes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Access Smash still alive and podcasting, and wait for Rob to subscribe.
Oh man. Look, I didn't have any problem with them. It's just I watched NWA wrestling.
Of course, yeah.
Hawk and Adam were my favorite tag team. So for me, two guys, two other guys who wore leather to the ring and had their faces painted, and it was really obvious it's obvious what it was.
By the way, I'm sitting there telling you to subscribe. I haven't even listened to one episode of their show yet either. I know they do have a podcast though. This part is true. I mean, they were booked as a dominant tag team though. Those 3 years, 87 to 90, they were as one of the dominant tag teams we've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
They're my top 10.
And they were a legit good tag team. They were not.
Yeah. They are also my top 10. I think that run, that year and 2 months, 3 months, they held tag titles and one of the most dominant runs we've seen. There's Axe. Good cheating. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Referee can't even tell who pinned who.
It's too late to change it now.
Mm-hmm. Look at this. Oh, now they got Heart Foundation now. Is that Joey Morella? That is Joey Morella, right? He's a terrible referee.
Yeah. Oh, and there's Hawk and Animal.
Wait, so this doesn't make any sense though. You got 3 babyface tag teams there and 1 heel tag team.
Yeah. And the baby faces are all saying that the heel cheated.
Yeah.
Armchair quarterback.
Armchair quarterback.
Get him, Jesse.
He's such a great heel commentator. Yeah, that is Joey Morella, by the way. Oh, back to Alfred Hayes. Come on, bro. Annoying. Like, what was his role? I mean, he was a commentator, but he did all the C matches. Like, he broadcasted.
Well, I think he was a wrestler back in the day.
Was he really?
I think, or he was either a wrestler or a manager.
Was Lord Alfred Hayes a wrestler? Let's see. Yes, he was a professional wrestler. While most famous to modern audiences as a commentator and host of the WWE in the 80s and 90s, he had a long and successful career as a wrestler before that. He began wrestling in England in the 1950s under the name Judo Al Hayes. He later moved to the U.S. in the 70s and worked for promotions, adopting the aristocratic Lord Alfred Hayes gimmick. He was known as a formidable heel villain and even had a brief unrecognized reign as NWA heavyweight champion. Wow. He transitioned to the managing role and then commentary in the 80s, where most his fans came to know him. That's interesting. I did not know that. There's a boy. It was our boy, actually, Tito.
Tito, oh yeah.
One of the best workers in the history of the company.
Yes.
Arriba. You know, they never explain why Perfect and Genius broke up. But all of a sudden, months later, you see Perfect and Heenan together. There's no rhyme or reason how this happened. Yeah. Where would you rank Perfect all-time IC champs?
Good question.
Definitely top 10, I'll say.
Your top 10, yes.
And then you have to look at. He had two reigns, right? He had this one here, lost to Tornado.
Yeah.
And he got it back, I think, months later.
So I think he might be like number 10, but Tito is definitely top 10. Tito was champ twice, and he had some really great feuds when during his time as champ.
So we got the third time match here. Again, main event, very rare do you see 3 tag title matches on the same show. Just treat like a PLE almost in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the peak. This is perfect at this peak here.
Oh yeah.
Absolute peak here. Of course, he becomes IC champion when Warrior vacates the IC champ when he won both titles at the at Mania against Hogan. They did a tournament, of course, and Perfect won the tournament, I think, a month later. I do wonder why Vince never went back to Tito for one more title run. I do wonder why. Why was Tito relegated to being a guy that lost matches? He looked great in his matches, but he always ended up losing these matches. I don't understand why.
Good question, because he lost the IC title for the last time in the Savage. That was in '86.
Yeah, in February '86, and then from there it was just Tito ended up being. I mean, he did Strike Force for a little while, but then like after he went solo again, everything was okay. Tito playing great matches, but he always loses. I feel like a jobber almost in a sense. I couldn't stand it. Great match.
No,
Great
yeah,
match.
was. I remember.
Perfect though, I will say. Huh?
I do remember this match.
Mm-hmm. Perfect though. It was comedy to me anyway. Oversells everything. He used to oversell like a mug. Oh my god! Like any chop, he's flying in the air. Like, dude, it's 260 pounds. Yeah, this is the area where work rate matches were definitely going to come up. By the way, also, Perfect has an underrated chop as well.
Oh, yeah.
He died in 2003, actually. God, Jesse.
Just
so racist ass shit he's saying.
Yes, I mean,
I'm telling you. So Kurt Hennig was found dead in a hotel room in Brandon, Florida on February 10, 2003. According to the examiner's office, the official cause of death was acute cocaine intoxication. His father, wrestling legend Larry the Axe Headache, has also stated that painkillers and steroids may have contributed to his death.
Look, that was like, look, a lot of those '80s guys, they had that cocktail basically.
Yeah.
You know, painkillers, steroids, cocaine, alcohol. You know,
That Earl Hebner telling Bobby to stay in your corner. Jesse is still in his bag. Still in his bag in 1990. Did not matter. Look, it's perfect overselling. My God. He was a good seller, but he had moments where he would oversell. Like he would oversell a clothesline. He would oversell being thrown the ropes.
Yeah, and then he, it got to the point where he was always doing like the flip sell or the
Yeah. Like that one, for example.
Yeah.
I would argue at this point he might be the biggest heel in the company.
Well, I think it was probably Earthquake, right?
Oh, Earthquake, yes, Earthquake. Oh my God, really? Having hurt his knee.
I wonder if that was. No, it couldn't be legit because he's overacting.
Yeah, love Tito's. Tito had a very underrated figure four. Fucking Earl Hebner. This guy, dude, I swear.
I mean that yeah, I mean
ridiculous. I'd be pissed off too.
Yeah.
I was gonna remember this is also fake. Well, scripted. Sorry, can't say fake. Scripted. Oh, dude, but I was gonna say that Tito's flying elbow.
Yeah,
beautiful. Come on, pin him.
Come on, ref. Oh, this is bad. This is bad acting. Yeah, this
great
is
match
bad.
too.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, great match though. Outside the overacting here. Bro, like, if you want this to be realistic, in real life, another referee will come down there immediately if a referee got hurt. Ridiculous. I was so pissed off this match as a 10-year-old. I love Tito as a kid. Always getting screwed.
I mean, yeah, this is too much with the ankle.
False finish. When false finishes were a thing back then. Jesse said Tomahawk, he's doing a good job. No, he's not. Oh, now I call it unofficial out now? Ridiculous. Vince. We return. The new official return from commercial. And by the way, this is a long match for a main event show, honestly.
Oh yeah.
You explained back on one of the recent watch alongs that main event matches didn't typically go longer than 10 minutes, if that.
Yeah, back then, I mean, you mean like the Saturday's main event matches? Yeah, they were pretty short.
But I think at this point now, the work rate matches were a lot better. Better workers in the company now than you had in 1986, for example, 85. So you can take the risk of having longer matches and having a banger on the card, and be okay with that. Whereas back then, you didn't have a lot of great like work rate matches, so you wanted to shorten those matches as possible and make it a spectacle and an attraction. I love this move, but perfect.
Oh, the next match.
Yeah, the snap to the neck. Yeah, the setup. Good lord. And Sick Part 2 is like Bobby wasn't really his manager long. Like he was manager for like maybe for 8 months, not maybe a year, if that. No, because by Mania 7, Bobby's pretty much on commentary booth now. So Perfect had for his managers, he had the Genius, then Bobby Heenan, and then he had the coach. Remember that guy, Coach?
Yeah.
And that was terrible too, by the way. That whole coach thing. I didn't enjoy that. By that point, I was out. My boys, you getting a little tired, brother. We're almost there. Another 15 minutes. We're getting there, brother. We're getting there.
So was this the last match of the show?
One more match. That's it. But that one, I think that one's short. I think. And it's Bobby here. This referee never seen me before, actually. I don't know if you know who he is. Is that under a chop now? My Perfect. Yeah, Tito, and then they moved to El Matador. I don't understand that whole thing too. Also, that was cool, but he didn't need to change his name. Well, change his gimmick. I never understood that. And Rob is gone. Rob is gone.
Oh man! Oh man!
I almost turned your screen just to.
Wow.
Great match, man. Great match.
Oh, this is yeah.
It's a this has gone at least more. This has gone more than 10 minutes. This is gonna be what 15, close on 50 minutes now. By the way, with Naomi relinquishing the title, who do you think is in line to get the championship?
Good question.
And why should it not be Rhea yet anyway?
Well, okay, so the reason you do give it to her is just because she's the biggest woman star, and you can give it to her just for a few months while you figure out what to do with it. That's not ideal because they've done that in the past before.
Yeah,
and they're not really helping anybody. But so I don't think it'll be her because I think that if I were going to pick somebody right now out of the women who are on Raw,
so Naomi's on Raw right now. SmackDown, she's on Raw, right?
Yes, she's on. Yeah, so yeah, if we're only going to if we're looking just the women who are on Raw right now, I mean, Rhea Io was already champ earlier this year, and then yeah, I mean, you don't want to necessarily go right back to her.
That's too easy though.
Well, because right now, well, see, I get depends on what they want to do, right? If they want to actually try to, if they have some story ideas, then then they can go with somebody else. But if they're just looking for somebody to hold the belt until they figure out what they want to do, then it probably will be either Rhea or Io.
I heard somebody mention that Raquel could be someone they could look at.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, because this is the time when you do that. Like it's August, about to be September. This is when you experiment with somebody like Raquel.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, you can just have her. I mean, you can give it to her from. Oh, good lord!
Oh my God, Jimmy Snuka. Yeah, this stuff was even played out for 1990. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know why Vince needing this shit unless he got got money from a company, National Geographic, to air things like this. I don't know.
Because I
It
don't
makes
know,
no
like
sense.
like
85, I understand, but by 90, you don't need this stuff anymore. The show's a show.
yeah, I don't know. He had
I know you got Akeem. Look at, oh my god, Akeem is slick. Oh, that's my boy.
But for me, I think I think that
Dead
personally, I think
away.
this would be the time to
Look
experiment.
at this. They're doing a trek across the entire country, going in circles.
Ugh.
God, they were really trying. Were things that bad with Warrior? Was things with Warrior that bad that they had to go do shit like this?
No, I just think this is stuff Vince liked to do because Vince thought this type of stuff was funny.
Yeah, Vince is also nuts. Good lord. So last match here, what happens second? We'll have Texas Tornado against Buddy Rhodes. Of course, Texas Tornado is better known as Kerry Von Erich. He was a legend. He's another guy coming over from another company.
Yeah.
To come to Vince. And again, Vince giving him a corny name. Hey, Mean Gene's pissed off because in the water. So Buddy Rose was much more active in the early mid '80s.
Oh yeah. That's funny because Buddy Rose and Doug Summers were AWA Tag Team Champions, and they lost to the Rockers.
Yeah.
He
The
said
hippo,
hippo.
the hippo. Wow. The hippo like Buddy Rose. Vince. Wow. If you were watching WCW wrestling at this point too, also and watching wrestling as a whole, you know who Kerry Von Erich was. It was a big
Yeah.
deal. And they fast tracked him quickly too because they put the IC belt on him the very next month. So they fast tracked his ass pretty quick at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
But this team, this family has a shit ton of tragedy. I don't know where to start.
Oh yeah.
How old was he when he died? Like in his late 30s?
Yeah. I think mid to late 30s.
No. I was wrong. He was 33 and he passed away.
Wow.
Wow. Way too early. Way too early. This guy could have been a bigger. I think about it this way: if this guy wrestled with Vince and stayed in the company for at least another five years after this guy might have been a guy you look at as a top 50 guy because he was putting on some great matches back then too. Also, fantastic matches back then. So, all right, so we got a few more minutes of this telecast. And I said Rob to sleep after this.
Oh man, yeah, I'm cooked, man.
I know you're cooked, brother. We're almost there, brother. We're almost there. We're almost there. Hell, me too. Plus, I'm high on top of that. It's not gonna be high and sleepy at the same time. Yeah, Buddy Rose. But I remember Buddy Rose back in '85. So I was surprised. I remember seeing this guy. I'm thinking this guy's back in the company. I haven't seen these guys wrestle since like the mid '80s. In the earlier part of Hulkamania. This is a squash match, bro.
Yeah.
You already know that. Yeah, he was sharp. Kerry Von Erich was sharp. Very sharp as a wrestler. Oh my god. A hippo. What do you call him? A hippo? What kind of hippo you call him again?
Just hippo like figure, Buddy Rose.
Yeah. Hippo-like figure. My God. And no one fucking even thought to even think about like that was that being an issue saying that. Come on, dude.
Right.
So yeah. So next week we'll probably do the false count on Tuesday before I go on vacation. And yeah. But we'll talk more about what's going on in the world of wrestling. And anything else happen on Raw and SmackDown this week that worth talking about? Because I didn't watch Raw this week. And SmackDown I watched a couple days ago, and nothing really stood out. I saw Roman came back again. Roman came out and speared Braun on the side of the ring. But other than that, nothing else really significant. And of course, Naomi, giving up the belt because she's pregnant, of course. So, that match is over now. You want to plug anything? Want to plug in the meantime? Get ahead of this.
Okay. So as always, you can catch me every week on the Mindless Wrestling Podcast, DJ and Jason. You can catch me every couple of weeks on the Robert Genius Podcast. And you can catch me on Twitter and Blue Sky at RBONNE1.
Yeah. I'm stopping this shit because there's nothing else to talk about here about Rick Rude. They're gonna hype up the rematch at SummerSlam. Nothing to watch here. Of course, I'm on X at EJ Christian #7. Wrestling retrospective. Too many god darn syllables to say. The Wrestling Retro Podcast. We'll talk to you guys soon.